do our free demonstration of what sports webinars is all about. Um, Good to see so many people online tonight back home in Ireland, throughout the UK. We've got two people signed in from Brazil. We've also a number of people from North America and also a number of people from Australia here, both in Sydney and Melbourne. I see on my screen. Great to see you getting up so early in the morning. That's as it's just 7 a.m. here on Saturday morning. My name is Nicholas Walsh. I'm co-founder of sportswebinars.com and current high performance coach with Australians Rules' newest team, the GWS Giants. Sports Webinars was formed to provide and highlight the latest training methods and trends that the world of high performance sport has to offer. The difference with sports webinars is that these new and exciting methods and trends are brought to you live, like now, in the comfort of your own home or office, or on the move, or iPad, or anywhere in the world where you can view them. I hope everyone received a registration okay. We did have a few difficulties with one or two people where it went to their spam. That's not unusual. It happened myself last week when I was trialing it. So I think once you recognize our sports webinars account via your Gmail, you should get that back into your inbox. As I said, hope everyone's well. Hope everyone's rugged up at home. It's a mild 22 degrees at the moment at 7 a.m. in the morning here. But yeah, it's nice and light, and it's a day off for training for us here, which fits in also. Sports webinars. If you'd like to attend our sports webinars and haven't experienced a webinar before, then you're in the right place. For me, I've presented on this is my second official webinar that I've presented on. It's quite daunting actually because you sit in a room on your own. You've no audience. You look at a computer screen and you're hopefully providing them with enough information that they can go home and or go away back to their clubs or back to their sport of choice and prepare athletes the best they can. Tonight's webinar is slightly different. I'm going to just take you through the ins and outs of what sports webinars is all about. And also I'll look at the orientation behind of what sports webinars is, and so on and so forth. We will have time for a question and answer seminar or session at the end. So there should be a questions icon box down on your tab that you see on the right hand side of it, or right down the bottom should say questions. So anytime during the presentation, if you feel you have a question, feel free to pop it in. I won't view them till after I finish. This presentation will go for about 10-15 minutes, and then we can answer any questions related to what sports webinars is about, or also any general strength and conditioning questions that hopefully I'll be able to answer. So what is a webinar? What is a webinar? Webinar is basically a seminar conducted online. Like traditional seminars, a webinar has an organizer, it has a presenter, and an audience. So for this demo webinar, I'm acting as the organizer and presenter. Our sports webinar series are coming up in March. I'll still act as the organizer, or a member of our team from Sports Webinars will act as our organizer, and our presenters will be the four presenters that we've highlighted on our Eventbrite page or that we've publicized via Twitter or Facebook over the past month. And the audience will be you. The only difference is with a webinar, the presenter and organizer, they sync from one platform. Okay, I'll be basically sitting in my own home, and the presenter could be in the US. We link to the one platform and share the content with a variety of people worldwide, as you're doing now. With sports webinars, the software you can use, you can view our webinars sitting at your desk, in the comfort of your own home, or on the move. I'll go through the technical aspect now in a few minutes, and I'll also speak about download speeds and whatnot in that regard. But just to let you know, sports webinars is available on your iPhone, iPad, smartphone, if you have an Android or a tablet you use, it is available on all those platforms. Personally, I'm a Mac user, and I find the best viewing that I get is from my iPad. Plug in my earphones into my iPad, and I have the best viewing. You see it as a PowerPoint presentation straight onto your iPad. Uh, once you're signed in, like today or like this morning, you would have been sent a link. And as I said, the link sometimes it went or to one or two people this morning. It went to their spam folders. Just to be aware of, if you sign up, don't panic. Email us; it will be there somewhere. If not, we can get it back out to you as well. So once you've signed up, that link will be sent with all the system requirements and all the specific applications. You would have also received today a how to use a guide from Citrix, which is the brand provider, the GoToWebinar platform that we are using. And also you can on your iPad or iPhone, you can download all the applications that are necessary to use. With our webinars, our aim is to connect the personnel of high performance right throughout the world. We want to connect the people, right around through the US, right through rugby union circles, right through Gaelic game circles, all the way right throughout. We want to connect our high performance coaches right throughout the world, as I said, and share the knowledge with everyone to create a better learning platform. Various sports, including this one, which I'm involved in right now, of AFL, American football, rugby, athletics, Gaelic games, and general strength and conditioning, will provide all the basis for presentations throughout the year, which we will present on. This is coming up is webinar series 1 in March. We'd hope to run webinar series 2 later on in October, with hopefully a number of presentations and flash seminars that we'll do right throughout maybe the months of June, July, in terms of nutrition supplementation. And also we want to explore some research related topics for any medical or physio related clients or the audience that we have. And as I said, specific nutrition supplementation workshops that will hopefully assist you with your athletic approach to your individual teams so you can get benefit from this. As I said earlier, this is a learning environment for both me, so we can share knowledge via questions now in a few moments, but also via, or also for all the audience that are going to be online, and basically sharing and dealing with each other right throughout. Okay, webinar attendees, you can obviously, just a couple of things on it. You can listen to your presentation online. You can watch the presentation slides as you're doing now via our GoToWebinar platform. And also you can communicate via our question and answer sessions after each of our webinar presentations. As I mentioned previously, all you have to do is type your question into your dialog box down the bottom where it says questions. And that you can do that anytime in the presentation, and I'll deal with them, or the presenter will deal with them once the presentation's finished. And the big thing about this, it's not recorded or anything like this. This is all in real live time. And as mentioned before, like or unlike a traditional seminar, you've no audience sitting in front of you, which in a way, you don't have to rock up in your suit or your best tracksuit bottoms or best shoes. So it serves to be of benefit for all. In today's world, webinars are used to connect people via marketing, training, and for use for educational purposes. And personally, having used a number of these over the past number of years in terms of business and training related webinars, I felt there was a need to connect the world in terms of high performance sport. Just moving on to a couple of little technical requirements, very briefly on this. All you need, obviously, you're going to need a computer, either a desktop or a laptop. As mentioned previously, you can receive or get the webinar on your iPhone, on your iPad, smartphone, on the Android, or a tablet if you use it. One thing that I would ask you to check, and I'll go through go through it now in a couple of seconds, is you will need a fast and stable internet connection. If I have if I've got any of our audience that are online experience any technical difficulties or anything like that, number one, you should check if you have a fast and stable internet connection. And before I go on to explain how you check, you will also need maybe a headset, earphones, or speakers, obviously, to listen to the presentation that are being presented on. As I mentioned, in terms of presenting your or testing your connection, there is a website that we link into. It's www.speedtest.net. So after the presentation, you could have a play around with this. It basically measures your internet connection. And you may have seen a tweet from me about 20 minutes ago. I think my download speed was something like 6 point something. I can just check. Bear with me a second. Or the Twitter getting the better of me. Yeah, my download speed was 6.19 this morning. So the Citrix or the GoToWebinar means you need at least 1.31 megabytes per second or higher. That would be greater to receive a stable internet or receive a smooth webinar experience. So basically, all you have to do is jump onto that website, www.speedtest.net, press go, basically, in the middle of the screen. Start the test, and if the result is greater than that 1.31 megabytes per second, then hopefully you'll have enjoy a smoother webinar experience. As our webinars will be mainly evening time around 8 o'clock, Greenwich Mean Time or Irish or UK time as we call it, make sure you test your connection speed around that time as connection speeds change throughout the day. Your webinar experience could be affected, okay, for the following. That could be affected if you're sharing your internet connection with others, or you're downloading files, streaming audio, streaming video at the same time as their sports webinars. If that is the case, maybe just cease all streaming platforms to allow for a smoother webinar experience, so you get through it and you're able to do it hassle-free. We want sort of the best viewing for all you guys that are out there. We want our customers to be happy and content with the presentation from all our top class speakers, what they'll be discussing right throughout the month of March. Okay, basically question time. But before we go on to question time, I want to pose a couple of questions to you. I'll ask you maybe 4 questions, and there's no real need to answer them or anything like that. So obviously you can't speak back to me in this platform just yet, but just think about them and maybe jot them down in your own time. They will relate to our speakers that we've coming up in the month of March. Number 1, what is Spectrum Coaching? When Spectrum Coaching was thrown at me some weeks ago at this stage, I had a really good think about it, and when I came back with the answer to the guy that originally asked the question, we weren't that million miles away in terms of our thinking and in terms of our methods that we use on the training field. Now, be honest with this next question, and probably at one stage I answered it, and I look back in the years, and I said maybe I did use a one-size-fit-all for my team or athletes at one stage. But basically the question is, do you use a one-size-fits-all for your teams or athletes? Just answer that question. And look, it could be related to sports, or it could be related to physio, or it could be related to any sort of sporting orientation that you're involved in. So just have a look and be honest with yourself. Do you use a one-size-fit-all approach with your team or athletes? Question 3, have you ever wondered what professional teams are doing for pre-season and also in-season training? Basically what they're doing right throughout their season in terms of periodization, in terms of their strength programs. When are they putting a hypertrophy aspect into that program, etc. And finally, number 4, to do with our kicking savvy people, what steps should you ensure your kickers whether it be rugby, soccer, AFL football, Gaelic football, or basically any sport, including where there's a player, an object, and a target. What steps should that kicker ensure um, to increase their scoring efficiency or their scoring or kicking percentage? So, what steps should you increase? Sorry, what steps should you take? So, basically, on looking at all these, we've got four high level coaches who are all masters in the field who will give the answers throughout the month of March. On the top left, on March 5th, Nick Grantham. Nick is a really good guy, and he's a high performance strength and conditioning specialist who hails from the UK. Mostly in the strength and conditioning field will know Nick. He's a guru in his area. On March the 5th, he'll be presenting in our first ever sports webinar. He will be presenting on spectrum coaching, as I mentioned just before, but will also explore the art and science behind that effective coaching, or what effective coaching means. So every Wednesday, as I mentioned, at 8 p.m. in the month of March, we'll be hosting webinar series 1. Eric Coram. Eric hails from the USA. He's a high performance coach with the University of Kentucky. He runs basically their high performance end for the football program, and he was formerly with FSU, Florida State University. So, legendary football college coach of there, Coach Stoops. He brought Eric from Florida State Uni to Kentucky, because Coach Stoops is now coaching there. I met Eric for the first time in Florida State about 6 or 7 years ago at this stage, and an amazing guy, and a guy that you can really pick the brains of, and he'll have a very informative webinar presentation on March 12th. Darren Burgess. Darren Burgess is the former head of fitness with Liverpool Football Club. He's worked with several players, and not only worked just through Liverpool Football Club, but he also worked with the Socceroos here in Australia and a number of other teams. He's the current high performance manager with AFL team Port Adelaide. And he's a great guy and very keen to jump on board to help you guys to get the best out of yourselves in terms of preparation for your teams, both in season and more importantly pre-season, to build that base. And finally, Stuart Lyric. Stuart will be the final speaker on March 26th. Stuart is a specialist kicking and catching coach, traditionally in rugby, but he's worked with numerous teams for the Wallabies, and also a number of individuals throughout rugby union, rugby league, and also a number of one-on-one soccer individuals, mainly to do here with the A-League here in Australia. You probably may have already seen or read all their bios, but working with all of these specialists is really exciting for me. And also the sports webinars team. I've seen the guts of all their programs at the moment, or all their presentations at the moment, and they really, really look impressive. Nick Grantham's obviously he's up first, so I had a quick break at his not so long ago, and it's actually quite daunting to see how much effort Nick is putting into the program, and also the other guys that are really putting big effort in. Watch out for the big pig on Nick Grantham's. He still has me baffled by it, but he said he will explain it to me in time. Okay, guys, basically, appreciate your time and effort on a Friday evening or early Saturday morning where I am, and Friday afternoon where some of our US people are. It's great to have you online. As this is a demo webinar, I'm not going to go too long, and you probably don't want to listen to me too much further, but I will open a question and answer session now in a few minutes. Before we go on to that, we did say that we would extend and open a discount offer to all of you that are online. Basically, the code, you can sign up for the next 2 hours only. There's a 15% discount for anyone that's online here today or tonight. This will cease at 11 p.m. 11 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, so UK Dublin time. The promo code is SWS1 Demo, so SWS1 DEMO. Remember, it's only for a 3-hour period. We'd keep that open, and hopefully we get some people signed up to it. If you've any questions or anything like that, please feel free to drop us an email or anything. You can ask some questions now in a few seconds. The Eventbrite page, if you can't click on that link, what you're seeing right now, which I'm hovering over, you'll be able to just go onto the Eventbrite page or get it off our Twitter page, or we'll email you the link directly. Our speakers, as mentioned, there are 4 top class speakers in their own field of high performance sports, and then obviously a little tweak at the end with Stuart Lyric in terms of his technical kicking ability and just some of his stuff that he does. It's really mind blowing in terms of where I'm from, in terms of Gaelic football, for free takers and that code, or even hurling to that extent as well. The promo code, as I mentioned, SWS1 demo, open for a 3-hour period. Feel free to like us on Facebook and Twitter. Twitter's at Sports Webinars, and Facebook is sportswebinars.com. And as mentioned, pop in and give us a quick email, sportswebinars@gmail.com. Guys, places are limited. There's probably about 50% take up at the moment. We are offering you obviously first in for signing up to this free demo tonight. So basically, if anyone has any questions, feel free to shoot them through. I might just have a quick drink, and then I'll be back to you straight away. Okay, questions are coming slowly in here, or quickly in, I should say. Got 5 or 6 up straight away. Thanks for the follow. Yep, no worries. That's great. Should have a comments box there too. Yeah. Okay, got a question here. The question is, I'll read out the question so the audience knows what it actually is, and then I'll give you the best answer as I can. If I can't make the webinar live, can I watch it back on my own time? Will I be able to get the slides too? Yeah, basically, once you register, like tonight, you need to register for the seminar, like you will do. So once you will say you sign up for the one in March or all 4, and you can't make any 4, I'm actually recording the seminar, and I'll record all the seminars, and basically it'll be a video, whether it'll be a YouTube link or a video direct, depending on the size, it will be emailed directly to you. So it's basically an MP4 that's recorded, and the slides will all be incorporated into that as well. Hope that answers that question. Okay, next question. What's the best way to watch the webinar? My preference is tablet. Sorry. Okay, I'll read that out again. What is the best way to watch the webinar? My preference is tablet. Is that advised? Yeah, tablet's fine. No issues with tablet. Hopefully you're viewing it fine tonight. My preference is an iPad. I'm presenting from a computer right now, so any forms should be fine once you're comfortable with it. So for those Android users, good luck. All right, we won't start any wars between Android and Apple at this moment in time. But yeah, no worries. No worries using the tablet. Okay, good question. Hi, Nicholas. Good to touch base with you. Good to touch base with you too. I won't read out the names of the people. What's the cost of all 4 seminars in March? So basically, the cost of all 4 is it's €100 for all 4 as a package. So the 15% tonight will give you all 4 for 85, plus a couple of euro for sign up fees that Eventbrite include. So it's all 4 for 85 tonight, but generally it's all 4 for 100. So if you break that down, it's 25 per webinar. But we are charging individual webinars at $37.50 for the webinar costs. Thanks for that. Okay, next question. Has to be one of my Irish people. I'm in a relatively remote area, and I'm not sure how good my internet connection is. It seems fine with this free demo, but could it be different in some way for a longer or for longer events? Okay. Basically, this person's in a remote area. Their internet connection speed seems fine for this, which is great. Um, so basically, what I do is when you finish this test, is jump off, and as I mentioned, if you didn't see it in the presentation, jump onto www.speedtest.net, test your connection. But as this is only a 4 hour, or sorry, as this is only a 15-20 minute presentation, running for an hour, it's not an issue. It's the speed of your connection that will cater for the stability of the webinar in a couple of weeks' time. Okay, next question. How many webinars will there be in 2014? Well, each series, the series coming up has four. So, Sports Webinar Series 1 has four webinars. We would hope to replicate something similar to that with different speakers in around October, November time when people are getting back into the training phase. And also, we're hoping to run a number of medical and physio related research topics maybe throughout the months of May or June, just to be confirmed yet. And also, we're hoping to run some areas of nutrition and supplementation, which hopefully will happen in around that time too. So all dates are to be considered at this moment in time. But we will be running when we get it all up and running. Say for 2015, we hope to run around 12 per year. Okay, just reading this one now. Yeah, simple question, but quite effective. How can I sign up? And that's fine. There's an Eventbrite sign up page. If you follow us on Twitter, or if you follow us on Facebook, or even if you contact us at the end of this, sportswebinars@gmail.com, I can send you the link directly. There's no issue with that. It's Eventbrite page. Basically, it's really really easy. You go onto the Eventbrite page, and you basically click the link. Um, or click the link, you'll see the page coming up, and you click which one you want to go into, and basically go from there to sign up. You put in your email address and name. Please make sure you spell your email address correctly. We had a few issues earlier on with that too, where people didn't input their email address correctly. So please make sure that you input your email address. Just double check it before you do so. Then what will happen is you'll process your payment via credit card, and you will then receive a link as you have today, just before the webinar series. You'll also receive a receipt of sale as well on that page as well. Okay, just one or two more questions coming through. Okay, when will the deadline to register for Sports Webinar Series 1 be? The webinar, yeah. So you can go for the whole series just right up. So the first one is on the 5th of March. So you can register right up till the 4th of March. But as we mentioned tonight, there's a 15% discount for the next 3 hours. For if you put in the promo code Sports Webinars, or SWS1 demo, so all capitals SWS1 demo DEMO. If you input that and then sign up from there. Okay, another question coming through. How long will each seminar last? Each seminar will last an hour. So basically, I spoke to all the presenters just during the week, and they're targeting each presentation to last about 45 minutes, or 45 to 50 minutes, with a 10-minute question and answer block at the weekend or after. And they all agreed if it runs over time, it runs over time. They're not going to just cut it off at an hour or 60 minutes. So I'll be presenting, or I'll be handling it from their point of view, so we can keep it going if it runs over time for that as well. So roughly around an hour. Okay, that seems to be the last questions coming through. Um, if anyone has any more questions, just pop them through very quickly. If not, I'd like to thank everyone for jumping online on a Friday evening. Hope everyone's well back in Ireland. Good luck to Ireland this weekend versus England in the Six Nations rugby. We'll get up and watch it Sunday morning here. Um, but basically, again, look, thanks again. If anyone has any questions, just feel free just to shoot them through to sportswebinars@gmail.com, or even ask us on Twitter, or just put a comment box into Facebook as well. Guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Be great if you could tweet and set us up with some publicity as well. That'd be great from our point of view. Be great if you give your comments on Facebook, and we'll take it from there. Once again, looking forward to seeing you at Sports Webinar Series 1. Thank you.